Okay, so I created this event in hopes to promote higher education to high school students, specifically Latinas, because I know sometimes within, within our families, higher education sometimes isn't promoted because of, gender roles. So I really thought it would be a good idea to come up with this event where we would get a successful Latina to come in, talk about, what they've gone through and where they're at now, and then also promoting the different majors that UDC has. So also promoting UDC and promoting high schoolers to attend UDC. So yeah, so that's the history of that. And now I would like to present um, Mr. Omar Herod, and so that he can speak a little bit about the admissions process. So let me stop sharing my screen.
Good afternoon, or I should say good evening, everyone. My name is Omar Herod. I'm the lead recruitment specialist for the University of the District of Columbia, the only public school in Washington, D.C., or only public school of higher learning in Washington, D.C., but also the only urban land-grant institution in the country. And I just bring you greetings from Dr. Mason, the president of the university. And just want to briefly talk about a little bit about the admission requirements for the University of the District of Columbia, which some may or may not know, but we do have several entry points into the university, I'm sorry. And so I want to talk real quickly about that. Give me 1 second. I can share my screen. Oh, can I share is it possible for me to share my screen?
Yes, give me 1 second. Okay, you should be able to do it now.
Great. I'll go through this fairly quickly. So at the University of the District of Columbia, we want you to find your possible by means of its accessibility, the affordability, as well as the quality academic programs. So to jump right in, so the University of the District of Columbia, we have several pathways into the university, including our workforce development certificate programs, which are free for DC residents. And so if you are a DC resident, these programs are free for you. And they have pathways in healthcare, construction and property management, hospitality and tourism, information technology, and education. And then you can transition from the workforce development certificate program into an associate degree program, or you can apply directly for an associate degree program. We have a program called Liberal Studies, and that's a general college, your general college courses you need, regardless of what your major is. And that's sometimes a really good place to start, because if you don't quite know what you want to do, but know you want to get started, then that's a really good place to start. And then once you complete that program, when you change your major to the bachelor's degree, you're just taking your major courses. So for instance, I'll just kind of go through the way it looks on here. So let's say you start with Liberal Studies. You can do the Associate of Science side, the AS side. Once you complete that, you change your major to biology, which happens to be one of our more popular majors at the bachelor's level. And those programs are at the Van Ness campus. And then once you complete your bachelor's degree, if you decide to go on to get a master's, you can do biology at the master's level as well. So as you can see, you sort of transition through the university. Same thing with computer science technology. You can start at the associate level for computer science technology and then transition into computer science. We also have IT, or information technology, as well. Law enforcement is a really phenomenal program. It's an associate degree program. We actually have a partnership with the Metropolitan Police Department. And so you would be able to go and get into that program. There's even a stipend for that program through the Metropolitan Police Department. It's preparing you for the police academy. If you want to get started in the business world of business, you can start with business administration and then transition to business management at the bachelor's level. And education is something that we are known for throughout the university. And so we have it from our certificate program all the way to graduate level. And I'm a product of a UDC alum. My mom graduated from the university where she received her bachelor's degree in special education. So I've known about this school all of my life. We also have unique programs as well. We have an aviation maintenance program. We actually have a hangar at Reagan National Airport. And so it is a certificate program as well as a certification program, as well as a associate degree program. Once you complete that program, it is a guaranteed job. So you will be certified and you'll be able to work pretty much anywhere. Fashion merchandising, if you're interested in going to the world of fashion, you can start with at the associate level. Graphic design, another really cool program that you can use to maybe transition to digital media at the bachelor's level, or art at the bachelor's level as well. Mortuary science, another direct into workforce program. Workforce program. So once you complete the associate degree, you are certified to work, and so you can go into the world of mortuary science as well. Associate of nursing, if you're interested in going to the world of nursing and healthcare, you will be starting at the associate level in nursing, and then also respiratory therapy. Because of COVID-19 and all the things that are going on that deal with our respiratory system, respiratory therapists are really highly sought after. So that's another program that you can get into at the associate level. Bachelor's degree programs, we have administration of justice if you're thinking about going into law school. Biomedical engineering, if you're interested in research and physical therapy and things of that nature, you can use that to go into that area. If you're interested in working in front or behind the camera, digital media would be the good program for you. Nutrition and dietetics, if you're interested in being a nutritionist or dietitian, which is also another way to get into medical school, is another opportunity for you. We have the RN to BS in nursing program. So once you complete the associate of nursing program and pass the nursing exam, then you can apply for the RN to BS in nursing program. And that is an online program. The RN to BSN program is an online program. And then urban sustainability as well. Real quickly, some accolades of the university. The School of Engineering and Applied Sciences ranked #1 in 2020 by AffordableSchools.net for best mechanical engineering programs in the country, for best affordable mechanical engineering programs in the country. And our College of Arts and Sciences ranked 47th by Intelligent.com for our Homeland Security graduate program. Our School of Business and Public Administration is ranked #1 among best affordable business schools by AffordableSchools.net. And then our College of Agriculture, Urban Sustainability, and Environmental Science was awarded the District Sustainability Award by the Department of Energy and Environment. And then our law school was recently ranked 5th by U.S. News and World Reports for clinical trainings for the 2023 graduate school ranking report. And the great thing about these accolades is that our students are the one that help generate these accolades. So we're really excited and so glad and happy for what our students and our faculty are doing. To be admitted to the university for a bachelor's degree program, you must have at least a 2.5 or better GPA. If you have a 3.0 or better GPA, you qualify for a scholarship. And we are currently test optional. So if you did take the SAT or ACT, you can definitely submit your test scores for placement purposes, but it is not a requirement. For associate degree programs at our community college, as long as you graduate high school or have a GED, you can be admitted to the associate's degree program. We do not accept high school completion certificates, so if that is what you have received, then you will need to do a GED. SAT or ACT are not required regardless. Because of COVID or whatever, we are just not doing, it is not required. We currently use Accolades and alternative measures for class placement purposes at the associate level. The documents that you would need to submit, the application is online, it's electronic. You can just go to the udc.edu, and on the top right of the page, you will see the link to apply. We are currently waiving application fees, and we actually waive fees for all DCPS as well as DC public charter school students. But right now, all applicant types except for graduate, we are waiving the application fee. You'll need your official high school transcript or GED transcript. Your if you've taken any college courses at any other school, we'll need the official transcript from that school. Again, SAT or ACT scores are optional. And then once you've been admitted and confirmed your enrollment, you'll need to submit your immunization records if you're 26 years or younger, and your COVID-19 vaccinations and booster information. We do offer financial aid, and so if you need or want more information about our financial aid offerings, you can call them or send an email to finaid@udc.edu. If you need help and assistance with filling out your FAFSA, that's how you go about that entire process. We have a community partner, the Educational Opportunity Center. You can contact them at 202-741-4730, and they will assist you or your family in filling out the FAFSA. And then our DCF scholarships, again, if you have a 3.0 or better, you qualify for a scholarship. 3.0 to 3.3 is 30% off your tuition. 3.4 to 3.6 is 40% off your tuition. And 3.7 above is full tuition and fees are included. So it's your full ride scholarship. To submit your documents, you need to submit them to udctranscores@udc.edu. We also do, currently we are doing in-person as well as virtual tours. If you go on our website, udc.edu, scroll down, you'll see the link for our virtual tour. And if you're interested in scheduling a in-person tour, I will put my information in the chat so that you can reach out and we can work on scheduling a tour with you. Your admission counselors, these will be the young ladies that you will be working with directly. They will be assisting you in getting you admitted to university. And you'll be applying as a first-time in college applicant. So if your last name begins A through L is Mrs. Shada Butts, and last names M through Z is Mrs. Idona Benro, who happens to be a graduate of the University of the District of Columbia. Some activities, we want you to be actively engaged at the university. So we have student ambassadors that work along with our office and do some other activities on as well as off campus. The Student Government Association, your Greek Divine Nine organizations, if you're interested in pledging a sorority or if you're interested in pledging a sorority rather. So we have that. And we also have the Royal Court of UDC, that is Miss or Mrs. Firebird or UDC. And then we have the Center for Diversity, Inclusion, and Multicultural Affairs. So if you're a first generation, if you're LGBTQ, if you just trying to figure out this whole thing about being a college student, that is the area for you. You would be able to connect with them, and they will be able to interact with you and help you, assist you through the different things that you may be going through. We are also very competitive on the court. We are a Division II school. We're part of the East Coast Conference. We have basketball for men and women, lacrosse for men and women, tennis for men and women, soccer for men, and track and field for women. So if you're interested in participating in a team sport, as long as you meet the requirements, you can be a part of the UDC Firebirds. And that ends the slide presentation that I have. But if you have any questions, I will, like I said, put my information in the chat. And I hope that if anything that you may need, definitely feel free to reach out to us, and we would love to have you become part of the UDC Firebird family.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I will also be working within the admissions recruitment area. So if anyone would also want to, reach out to me, I can put my email as well in the chat. And I would like to introduce Ms. Baldwin, and she will be speaking on behalf of Student Success.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Thank you, Deanna, for bringing us on, and Ada, thank you so much. My name is Latosha Baldwin, and I work in the Office of Student Success. Our area covers a few departments: academic advising, which there we tell you about the classes that you need to take so that you can obtain your degree. We have career services. So if you are not sure about what you want to be when you grow up, we can assist you there. We have a writing center, and we have first year experience programmers and the DC Up Scholars. So students who have or receive the DC Up Scholarship, we have an academic coach there for students as well. So as you can see, we try to hit the student from different angles to ensure that you guys are onboarded here get the classes you need, and then we help you throughout so that you can be successful and graduate. I was, when I was asked to talk about what can make a student successful, I had to think about and go back over 20 years when I was in college, and what were some things that helped me with my journey. And so today, I just want to share with you 5 tidbits that I think would be helpful for you as a student in coming to college. We don't expect you to know how to do college. The transition is definitely different coming from high school to this institution, and there's a lot of information that you won't know. So I believe that there are some things that you can practice, that you can utilize, that will at least help you navigate to be successful. So number one, when you are looking at UDC as your institution, I think it's important for you to know your why, know why you're here. So I was a first generation student. My mother and father did not go to college. And so it was my turn, my time to step up. I had told my mother, because I couldn't afford college, that since we can't afford it, I'm just going to stay at home and work. And she told me, absolutely not. You will go to college. And we figured it out. Of course, I took out student loans and tried to do everything I possibly could. But I knew at that point that changing the legacy of our family was very important. It was important to my mother, and it was important to my family. And I felt like I had to set the tone for my brother, my younger brother. So I knew that that was a part of my why, changing the legacy. But then I also knew that in order for me to work in this industry or in life and make money, I had to get a degree if I wanted to make a substantial amount of money. Back in my day, I made $4.25, so $10 an hour, $15 an hour was pretty attractive. But I knew that I had to change my life. So with that said, I picked my major and I went off to school. And I kept that before me as I moved through college. So keeping your why at the forefront, knowing why you're here, why are you getting higher education? Higher education allows you the opportunity to have more opportunities. So you have an opportunity to get more opportunities. So I kept that at the forefront. So that was number one. Number two, I had to show up and be curious. So I did not want to stay at home. I wanted to go off to college, so I chose to go 2 hours down the road from my house, but I was actually by myself. I did not have any friends when I went off to college. So of course I felt very alone. I didn't know what to do. I did have a job, so that was helpful. But one thing that I realized was I had to keep showing up. I had to keep showing up, and then I had to be curious about the institution that I was at. I was in a foreign land, didn't know anybody. But I said, you know what, while I'm here, I had to show up to class, but then also let me be curious and observe and see what's out there for me. It was very uncomfortable to do that by myself, but it was a skill, it was an intrinsic motivation that I had that allowed me to see the lay of the land and at least try to understand where I was at that juncture in my life and how I could maneuver forward. And also, who could I connect with? Like, who are the people that's here in my class? Let me listen to them. Let me see who they are. Let me see what they have to offer. What student clubs and organizations do we have that I can connect with? So that was important. So I was showing up, but I was also being curious. And it probably was one of the most painstaking things to do, because when you are by yourself in a sea of people, you feel awkward. But I did try to push past that in certain instances, and I think that that was very helpful for me. Because I was able to do that, I was able to find my tribe, and that was number 3. So finding your tribe when you get here it's not an easy task, but it's something that you can do. And one of the ways that I did it was I found a student club, and I connected with, the first club I connected with was the gospel choir. So I used to sing, And so I was like, okay, how can I continue that? So I found people that had common interests, and singing was it. I am not the best singer, but singing for me was fun. So if you have a hobby, that's something that you like, find those people that have the same interest. See if we have a club on campus that can connect you to somebody with a similar feel, vibe, energy. It could be the fishing club. It could be the Latinx community. Whatever it is that you feel comfortable connecting with people on, seek that out. And if you don't know where to seek that out, at UDC, we have a plethora of people that can assist you, myself included, but we have Miss Melinda Jennings, who is the student life director, and she will be more than happy to assist you. And if we don't have something at the institution that represents what you want to do, you can start a student club, and that's there for you. And then that way you can help other people find their tribe. So finding a tribe at the university allows you to feel like you belong. You have a place. It feels like home away from home. So that's number 3. Number 4, be resourceful. So before I went to college, you know, I mean, I really struggled. Like I didn't have, I literally needed like $800 back then to go off to college. And I didn't know what I was going to do. So I did work. I worked like crazy to scrounge up the last bit of money that I needed to start my first semester of college. But then I went down and I went to career services, and they had a service for me, and they helped set up my first interview in college. It was off campus. So the lady, the director at the time said, hey, I got you this interview. I worked at Long John Silver's, a fish place. And so she connected with the manager in the new city for me and set that up. I went and I got the job. So I utilized the resources available to me on campus. I didn't know her, but I was so grateful that she was helpful. And so in part of being resourceful is asking for help. So if you don't know, you have a connect right here today. You have Omar Herod, who's in admissions. You have myself, who is in student success. So if you don't know, that's okay. That's fine. Listen, Ms. Baldwin, send me an email. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know who to talk to. And that is why we're here. We are here to support you on your journey at the institution. We have a lot of resources for students that they don't know about. And sometimes students don't take advantage of it. But I'm here to tell you that if a resource is out here for you, please utilize it. Please, I wish they had all of these scholarships and dollars back in my day when I was in college. That would have been so helpful. So please don't be shy. And if you are shy, send an email. And if you can't send an email, send your friend to ask us so they can relay the message back to you. Okay. Like don't sit on yourself, advocate for yourself, get what you need, because this is your life. You're coming to college to change your life. And so, and for some of you, it's not just your life. For some of you, it's probably your family's life. So I take that serious, and I want to make sure that we do what we can to help you. So please be resourceful and ask for help. And then the last thing I'm going to say is be resilient. What does that mean? How do you bounce back when things happen, and how do you move forward? So so a lot of times we have stumbling blocks, we have barriers that come up. We're trying to do something, and then something pops up, and we're like, man, like, why can't it just be easy? Why can't it just be smooth for me to attain this goal? Unfortunately, that's not life, right? And it's something that we have to practice at. You have to keep doing it. So in being resilient, when you come to campus, if you see something that you feel like is a barrier, go back to number 4, which is be resourceful, and say, you know what? I ran into this barrier. How do I overcome it? Don't let anything get in your way and stop you from attaining your goal. That goes back to number 1, know your why. If you know why you're here at the institution and you keep that at the forefront, don't let any barrier stop you. And the way you do that is by being resourceful and asking us for help. And I guarantee you, we will do everything within our capacity to assist you. And so I just want to go back over that. Know your why, know why you're here. Show up and be curious. You have to show up. Be curious, understand where you are. Find your tribe, find where you belong. And if you can't find it, create it. Okay? Be resourceful, advocate for yourself, And then lastly, be resilient. Whenever you run into something that's uphill, let's run uphill together. And I could say all the things like, you know, go to class, talk to your teachers, go to tutoring and things like that. But those things are going to come when you get here. The things that we really need to work with and practice are the inner skills, those skills that are inward, those soft skills that will help us get through any situation that we're going through, whether it's going off to college, moving to a new town, having a new relationship. All of those skills help you maneuver the new. And so I just, you know, put myself before you guys and say, you know, thank you for coming out tonight, and know that UDC is a great place for you to start your educational journey. And we're here to help you. So my name is Latosha Baldwin, and, you know, I'm here to support. So thank you so much for this platform.
Thank you. That was wonderful. So now we're going to get ready for our keynote. So I'm going to introduce our keynote. So Dr. Pamela Hernandez, she was raised in Houston, Texas, and pursued higher education and work opportunities across the U.S. Dr. Hernandez has 14 years of professional experience in U.S. public and private higher education institutions in fields such as educational research, assessment and evaluation, as well as student leadership, development, multiculturalism, diversity, social justice, training and program, and fiscal management. Additionally, she worked to support the college access, and sorry, I lost my, the paper I was reading from, 1 second. Here it is.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Every time we touch the PowerPoint, right? It's fine. So she says, she is an expert on student success, mentoring, leadership, multiculturalism, diversity, social justice, training. So additionally, she worked to support the college access and college success of Houston families, developing and managing programs, curriculum, and resources to ensure relevance to a diverse population. Furthermore, Dr. Hernandez coordinated professional development training on topics such as social, emotional learning, emotional intelligence, college and career counseling, and educational policies affecting post-secondary education. Dr. Hernandez also taught college and graduate level courses on demographic trends and research on ethnic minorities, diversity in education, Latino leadership, transfer learning communities, and college study skills. Dr. Hernandez earned a doctoral degree from the University of Maryland, College Park, in the field of higher education administration, a master's of science in educational leadership and policy studies from the University of Oregon, and a Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology, anthropology from Knox College. And she is joining us from Houston, Texas, I believe. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ada. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So good morning and good evening, buenas noches. My name is Doctora Pamela Hernandez. I am the principal researcher and owner of Educo Research. As you heard, it is a research firm that conducts, analyzes, and reports data for various organizations, nonprofits across the US. Thank you, Ada, and also Diana, for inviting me. I'm very honored to speak to you today at this event, Latinas Empowering Latinas. I hope it continues. We need so many more of these events for young Latinas. I was asked to speak to you about my life journey and my various accomplishments, and to you young women here. This is the first step, right? Coming to something like this and to get informed. So you're in the right track. I'm going to start my presentation a little bit different. I'm going to share one of my favorite poems from Gloria Anzaldúa that really shows you my experience and my life journey. So Gloria Anzaldúa is a Chicana feminist, poet, theorist here from South Texas, and she writes a lot of also various fiction. Her seminal autobiographical book, Borderlands, as you see here, examines the Chicano Latino experiences through the lens of various issues, everything from gender, identity, colonialism, and race. Borderlands is considered one of the key writing and literature on Chicano literature in general. The term Borderlands, according to Anzaldúa, really is about this geographical area that is a mezcla, right? That's a mix, that you're neither fully Mexican or from Mexico, or you're neither fully from the US. So this poem begins like this. To live in the borderland means neither to be hispana, India negra, española, ni gabacha. It is mestizo, mulata, half-breed, caught up in the crossfire between camps while carrying all 5 races on your back, not knowing which side to turn or run from. To live in the borderlands means knowing that the India in you, betrayed for 500 years, is no longer speaking to you. That Mexicanas call you rayetas, that denying the Anglo side of you is as bad as having denied the Indian or Black. Cuando vives en la frontera, people walk through you. The wind steals your voice. You're a burra, boy, scapegoat, forever of a new race, half and half, both woman and man, neither, a new gender. To live in the borderland means to put chile in broth, eat whole wheat tortillas, speak Tex-Mex with a Brooklyn accent, be stopped by La Migra at the border checkpoints. Living in the borderland means you fight hard, resist the gold elixir beckoning from the bottle, the pull of the gun barrel, the rope crushing the hollow of your throat. To survive the borderlands, you must live sin fronteras, be a crossroads. So for me, college and universities were these various crossroads, as Anzaldúa describes. So as you can see, I'm originally from Houston, Texas. My family immigrated from Central America, Honduras, in the early 1970s. I started in Texas, but went to Illinois for college, went to law school in Missouri, went to graduate school in Oregon, and then in Maryland. So I really love Maryland. It's one of my favorite spots. So that's why I'm very honored to be here as well tonight, and love to connect with you again. So as you can see, these various states, right? It's not all linear. It took a while to figure out where to go and why to go. But each time I moved through these states, right, I had to make decisions, right, to either stay with family, to pursue ambitions or dreams, and continue or let go of some relationships. My first experience, right, getting out of college, getting out of Texas, was going to Knox College in Galesburg, Illinois. This, as a first generation Latina and also immigrant, this was a new place for me, you know, very far away from Texas. I chose to go away from Texas, which is, as a Latina, you really don't do. But I did it anyways, right? I wanted to experience something new and different. I knew that there was a whole world out there beyond Texas. So here's where I met lifelong friends, as others have spoken about. I've also met people from across the world. But in this place, I also was tested and questioned, and my identity was also questioned, right? They wondered if I was Latina enough or white enough too, because this institution was also white. I also got exposed to various Latinx literature, as you can see, right, from my love to this book called Borderlands and Gloria Anzaldúa. I also learned critical thinking skills that allowed me to really question and also find opinions about the things that we were talking about. I learned how to write better, although I thought I was the best. I clearly was not when I got to college. I learned that I did have some Tex-Mex in me, which I didn't know until then. Although I'm not Mexican, right? I'm Hondureña, but this environment is also a place that embraces you. So you sound like it, right? This is the mestiza in me that Anzaldúa talks about. Also in college, I got involved, and others have mentioned this already as well. I became the president of the Latino organization. I was a student senator, among many other things. But the most impactful experience was being involved in the Ronald E. McNair program. And this program is one that you get selected into as a first generation student, and also one that may be interested in pursuing a PhD or a doctorate of philosophy. Mind you, I had no idea what a PhD was. This was my first understanding of this other degree that you could get. And it so happened that after 14 years, I then received a PhD, but really not knowing what it was. So graduate school in Missouri, Oregon, and Maryland were all very vastly different. In Missouri, law school was isolating and very scary. As the only person that looked like me in every classroom and space, Oregon was also similar, right? Well, it was a beautiful state with such great, majestic scenery. If you've never been there, it's beautiful, but it was really white. I was the only or one of the few Latinas in many spaces. On the other hand, right, Maryland was like coming home, quote unquote, because it's a microcosm of Central America. For me, I didn't know that, right? I found many Central Americans, Hondureños, Salvadoreños in that area, which I had not had exposure to in the state of Texas. So graduate school was also showed me the power of women and how women can be supporters. In this collective of women, I found that I survived these very hostile environments at times. I was also encouraged to pursue more education, do more research, get different scholarships, and just pursue other things that I may not have been able to. I was cheered and also challenged by these women that I was around. So that was my safe haven. So the PhD, the doctorate of philosophy, right? I received it from the University of Maryland, College Park. I was there and I gained really my voice in this environment. I really battled various expectations. People wanted near perfection in writing and other assignments through this PhD process, right? But I also faced many challenges. When I entered graduate school, I was also working on campus as an advocate for Latino students. And when I first met my advisor, one of the two, this person mentioned, you won't be able to continue your quote unquote advocacy involvement. You're really a researcher and a scholar now. So to me, that hit me really strong, right? Like it hit the pit of my stomach because that was a faculty I admired and respected, and I read all their work, but now I was being challenged of these core values that I have as an educator and as an advocate. It's really important for me to say that I proved this person wrong. I advocated for undocumented students through the passage of Senate Bill 167, so the Maryland's in-state tuition bill, through my dissertation. So in this work that I did to advocate with students, that then became my dissertation topic. And this new role as a critical thinker, as a researcher, led me to really compare and contrast, expel misconceptions of undocumented students, and really share the stories of the many undocumented youth, not only in Maryland, but across the US. So I learned that I could do both, right? Then I can advocate, be a scholar, an educator, and a researcher. So in my current role, I'm a researcher at heart and at trade. I'm an entrepreneur. I own several other businesses, but I'm also a community engineer. I work with different communities across the state of Texas and Houston to really better their community. And it's really interesting to see where I am today, because as a child, I had no idea that spending many times and weekends in the library reading through various books, that this would become a skill, but also a career. I spent most of my childhood consumed by books. My mom could tell you I was reading in the car, in the grocery store. When I went to parties, family parties, I was reading there. I was even nicknamed Cerebrito, which is like a brainy, right? Like a brainiac. I really don't mind that nickname. And to this day, I still marvel at the chance of going into a library and looking through the books and looking through the aisles, sitting down among the many books and trying to figure out which one to actually check out. I began researching since I was little, really, from high school to college to graduate school. I know that now this is my calling because I enjoy it. I wake up every day and enjoy what I do. I teach others as well through this process and also work with the communities here in Houston and across the US to better them. That's why my research is about building human capacity, making other communities and other people better. This is my life journey, right? So we come back to this poem that I shared with you earlier from Gloria Anzaldúa. I'm now able to create my own. So this is from me. To live in this Latina college borderland means you are caught in the crossfire between camps, maneuvering standards, expectations, and denouncing prejudices. To live in the borderland means knowing people cannot walk through you. The wind does not steal your voice. And we're here, we're present, and we're thriving. To live in the borderlands, you have to resist the golden elixir beckoning from the bottle. Instead, trust, reveal yourself, and support one another in colectivo and self-exploration. Thank you so very much. I hope that the story that I shared with you in my journey really inspires you to also pursue your own educational journey, and with the connections you have with UDC and these staff members here, they will also support you through that. So thank you so much, Ada and Diana.
Thank you so much. I really love that you mentioned the PhD, because we also have students here who are already in college and might be thinking about what is next. So I love that you're providing the PhD perspective, because as a Latina, navigating doctoral education is very challenging.
Yeah.
But we find solace with Gloria Anzaldúa, the Borderlands. I mean, really speaks to me as well. And I'm not Mexican American either. So I would love to hear from anyone here who wants to ask any questions to Dr. Pamela Hernandez. So does anyone have any questions for her? Or any questions about admissions or student success?
Hi, my name is Nancy. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here. I do have a question for you, Dr. Hernandez. I wanted to know how long did it take you to complete your PhD after your graduate school? I know it's a lot, to continue after graduate school, and I try to think about the time that it would take, but I just wanted to hear from you, how long did it take?
It took me about 5 years, and that's usually around the same time. Most people strive to do that if life doesn't get in the way, right? Like if you have kids, or if you have aging parents or other things that happen. I went to my PhD full time for the first year that I was in it, that I got accepted because I got a scholarship, and it required for me to go full time. But then I couldn't keep going like that, right? I needed to work and actually get paid better because I was working beforehand. So that was a difficult transition. So then I pursued really the PhD full-time as a staff member while I was working at Maryland, and also as a student. So it was a really hard process. And Dr. Ada can also attest. There's a reason why this process is difficult, and there's a reason why few people get a PhD.
Okay.
I would say that we need a lot of support. I actually met Dr. Pamela. Were you getting your PhD when I met you?
I think I was starting it. Yeah.
So I met her when I was getting my PhD. and I needed support. I needed emotional support from the community, because sometimes our families don't really understand.
Yeah.
Even our friends would not understand. And then you feel like you don't belong either, because you have internalized so many negative messages about being a woman, being a Latina, being the only Latina. So you need to find a community, a support group. And in the case of UDC, we do have the Latinx Student Association. So that would be great. So any other questions?
No, but thank you. Thank you for
Thank you,
sharing.
Nancy.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Hi.
Hello, my name is Gabriella Wu. I'm the Student Success Manager here at Carlos Rosario, and I have one of our UDC applicants, prospective students with me this evening. And I wanted to thank Dr. Pamela Hernandez for sharing that experience. It's such a marginalized dynamic, so it's really empowering to have your testimony. So thank you for sharing this evening. And I also wanted to ask the admissions team here at UDC what supports were available for international students as far as admissions process, or for non-native English speakers. Thank you.
Good question. So we're pretty much, as it relates to the admission side, we are, admitting students based upon their, their GPA in the program that they're applying for. But we do have Ms. Baldwin's office, and then other areas as well that do assist with the students in terms of, like for instance, if we have Accuplacer, which is the placement test that we have at the associate level, but we also have the ESL Accuplacer as well. So if students need to, take that, we can also, that can be arranged as well. And then there's, different opportunities for them to do, to get, any help or assistance within their classes, as in that regard. So, and their academic advisors also will be able to assist them in that process as well. So, from the admission side, it's purely just the I guess you could say the numbers in that regard. So, if they meet the requirements, they can be admitted. But then once they sort of finish that process, then the other departments sort of connect and we work together to to assist the students in getting them admitted and enrolled, and all those other aspects as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And I also saw the comment. Thank you.
Yeah,
sure.
and Diana can also help in Spanish or English. So we can be helpful in any way that I can, because I'm a professor. I forgot to introduce myself because I was rushing, but I'm a professor of English at the UDC, and I'm also the advisor to the Latinx Student Association. And Diana here, she's the president of the Latinx Student Association at UDC. But we were sort of rushing because we don't want to take a lot of your time. So we wanted to jump into it because we wanted to hear Dr. Pamela Hernandez. But we're here to help you with any questions that you may have. So let us know if you have any questions. We were trying to get a group of mentors. I'm not sure how many here are mentors to set up breakout sessions, rooms for mentoring, but I'm not sure if, can you raise your hand if you're mentors, if you came out as mentors? How many of you here are mentors? Let's see. So we only have 2, 3. Okay, so what I could do, so Nancy, are you here as a mentor as well?
I am, yes.
Okay, and what is your field?
So I'm a senior doing nutrition and dietetics.
Okay, nutrition. And Yolanda, what is your?
I am a rising junior, since we're entering finals. And I'm a chemistry major.
Chemistry. Okay, great. And oh, Dagmara here is from English. And Diana is in psychology. So what do we do? Do you want to create breakout sessions and join them there? Or do you want to do it like as a group? It's up to all of you, especially those who are here to interested in applying. Definitely, I don't need to be recording this anyway, so let me